Okay, the first thing we're doing, prepare a chart of accounts. Arrange expense accounts in alphabetical order. Use 3-digit account numbers and number the accounts by tens. So the first thing we have to do on that very top line, we have to put our company name. So, and center it as best as you can. So our company name for this is Ross Company. On the second line, also centered, write chart of accounts. Okay, once we start our next line, we kind of need to imagine that this is cut in half because some things are going to go on one half, some on the other half. So if you're a big writer, take that into account. Don't write more than halfway across. So the next line, this is not centered. We're going to write balance sheet accounts. Balance sheet accounts. I'm sure I have it now. Wait. Review. On the next line, you're going to indent just a little bit, and in parentheses, you're going to write 100. And then after that, assets. So then our next account is going to be, and this is not indented on the next line, 110 cash. Right, we don't indent. We won't indent again until I say. So nothing needs to be indented. Nope. Then our next one, 120 accounts receivable. So just AR dash Megan, M-E-G-A-N, Alvarez, A-L-V-A-R-E-Z. Yeah, you could do M. Alvarez, that would be fine. Our next line, 130. AR dash Tyler Link. Next line is 140. Supplies. Then 150. Prepaid insurance. And how I'm getting these accounts and knowing what accounts the business has, they're listed there in that green box for you. So when you do be on your own, that's how you need to go through and make sure you have all of those numbered. Okay, our next line, indented, needs to be 200 in parentheses, and then liabilities. So our next line, no longer indented, 210, AP dash Mid-City Supplies. Our next line, 220. AP dash I'll just spell it for you. S-H-E-L-L-E-Y. Then our next line is going to be indented.
And press OK.
In parentheses, 300, owner's equity. Then our next line is 310, Clara Ross, comma, capital. Then our next line is 320. Clara Ross, comma, drawing. Okay, now we're going to go be writing things on the right side of the page. So on the same line where you have balance sheet accounts, leave a little room and write income statement accounts.
Where?
On the same line as balance sheet accounts.
Oh.
You're going to write income statement accounts. Okay, then indented, in parentheses, 400, and then revenue. Our next line, not indented, is 410, sales. Our next line, indented, in parentheses, 500, then expenses. EXP, EN. So our next line, not indented, is 510, automobile expense. We have an abbreviated expense, just EXP. So automobile expense. Then 520, insurance expense. $530, miscellaneous expense, so just do MISC period expense. 540 is rent expense. And then 550, supplies expense. Okay, so we have part 1 done. Now we're going to go down to where it's numbered number 2. And so our instructions for that, we have 2 new accounts, postage expense and utilities expense. We need to add them so that they would be in order above. So our first one, postage expense, what number do we think we're going to assign that? Postage expense, where would that come from? So 535 is postage expense. And then what would utilities expense be? 560. So 560 utilities expense.
Where are you getting these?
Well, they have to go in order, ABC order for expenses, and so for postage it comes between miscellaneous and rent, and then you just go to the number in the middle. And utilities is the last one, and we go by 10, so 560.
You already had postage notes before you made this list. You would have put it as 540.
Yes.
And just moved everything.
Yep.
You're on those sites.
Okay, our last thing for part 3 is open cash. This is the easy part. So on account, you write cash. No, up where you?
What?
Up.
Oh.
Again. I knew I wasn't hearing things.
I thought it was in there.
Good interruption. Homeroom today.
Then account
Sophomore will meet in
number.
Mrs. Love's room.
110.
Next will meet in Mrs. Fuller's room. Senior class will meet in Mrs. Schuster's room, not the library. You'll meet in Mrs. Schuster's room. If you're in FBLA, go to the short senior meeting first. Thank you. Have a great day.
Okay, so we're done.
Yeah.